These required services, and of course, wouldn't you know that the year that they opened both of them, that we had an incredible freeze up, and of course the whole system froze solid. I don't know if you've heard of super cooled water, but water when it's running almost turns to gel. As soon as it stops, it freezes. Well, the water would be running into the pipes, but as soon as it got into the pipes and it stopped flowing, it froze. And so they had the mill people come up here, and they practically dug up the whole system on the hill and replaced it and covered it with about 8 feet of wood chips to keep it from freezing again. But it was sort of the harbinger of change, that people recognized that they would have to meet some of these challenges by improving their infrastructure, and that's quite important. It was a busy time for 3 or 4 years while the mill was running, and of course a little known blip down the road was the Whistler came on the scene, and we used to drive by and laugh at all of the stupid people who were buying shares in the Whistler ski development. What did we know? But it didn't really make much of a ripple in Pemberton, because Pemberton was a well-established community and that was just a pipe dream. But we watched it develop. Now, I just want
to... What year would that be?
In 1967 they first put it up for sale.
That was the first time? And when did they actually put ski lifts up there?
In 68 or 69, within a year. It was very, very fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to show you about explain this vision that was happening with the road that came through. The road originally went along the base of the mountain here, past the RC&P station, you know, right past the bank and through, and it followed the hill. In 1958, they moved the road, built a bridge across One Mile Creek, and built it on the lower side. And this was so that it would have a more direct route to Mount Currie and points east. One of the things was when the road started, everybody had this vision that here was a junction going into town, one going further down the road. It's an obvious place for a town. So there was a little bit of a land boom there where people bought property thinking that the town would logically expand into this nice flat area, and there was reasons for that too. It was flat. Most people were drivers, so that they didn't walk to the grocery store. They had to take their cars, and there was sufficient room there for expansion. And it was a no-brainer. However, and of course when you consider that the present town site had half a main street bordering the railway station, when didn't really lend itself to expansion. So what do we see? We see that we didn't develop according to logic. We didn't stay by the highway where it was convenient for people to access, but we did. The councils and the future councils decided to stay with the development in the downtown core, and of course all of the consequent problems with parking and congestion that have occurred since, Shirley will probably touch on. But it's just an interesting thing that way back in 1967 it seems so obvious that that's where the development should take. And I must say that I did have a selfish interest in it, and my optimism for this newfound site for the town center was so overwhelming that I actually built a drive-in restaurant down in anticipation of this big shift, which we sold later.
Good food too. I love that.
And then we had the